Hey guys, hope you're doing well. Welcome back to week number 6 of our weekly market update, where we hone in on a few specific areas that within the GTA for our weekly update. And today we'll be talking a little bit about some month-to-month numbers and some yearly numbers, just for those people that are not necessarily looking to buy or sell at this very moment, which is a little bit more than normal just for the given time of the year, plus all the exciting news from inflation and Bank of Canada. So these are things that are kind of usual for this time of the year, as we've talked about before, that usually in August things slow down. But we'll just talk a little bit about some July numbers that are interesting, and will be interesting to see what they come up with for August numbers. But we're kind of talking about some of those numbers already within our weekly update. So these numbers that I'll talk about with the month to month and year over year are more broad and GTA more focused. So let's just get into it, and we'll just talk about how let's talk about the condo market, as we've talked about before, which is pretty resilient for how high the months of inventory are, because we did see overall, especially in the semis and townhomes, we did see a 150% increase of inventory over the last 2 months from prior to July. So that's a really interesting number. Again, so condo markets are on the top of inventory levels, but the interesting thing is that month over month they are the least, with the price decrease of 0.6%, and then we saw the highest in detached at almost 7%. So overall, month over month numbers are down by about 5%. Year over year, though, they are actually up for all home types. So those are things to think about and to understand how our market works. And even with the high interest rate at the moment, and just general August being a little bit lower, we are still seeing some decent activity, and it just shows the resiliency, especially in the condo market, of what's going on within our city. Because I do think we're going to see condos pick up a little bit in the sense for rentals, because you're going to have a lot more students coming in within the next month, and then just with the obvious immigration coming in too, right? So people need somewhere to live, and condos are usually the best place to start. So those are things just to kind of understand and to know that the sky is not falling, because things are still actually moving, and people are buying things that are available, that show well, and that are priced for what they can afford, right? So let's just get into our weekly update now. And we'll talk about the downtown surrounding areas, Don Mills area, and the Lee's Side, and Mount Pleasant, Davisville, and Yonge and Eglinton area. So as I was talking about before, we have seen inventory go up a decent amount. So within the downtown surrounding area for freeholds, we are seeing inventory up a little bit. And so week over week, we have seen it increase by a little bit. Before I get into the numbers again, I'll just talk about the condo market again, just to touch on that, because it is such an interesting thing for how resilient it is. We have seen probably almost 500 to 600 more homes available compared to last year. But again, prices year over year are up. So just wanted to reiterate that and how resilient our condo market is. So if you are thinking about investing, pre-construction is a really good option. But again, you have to really understand which developers are best, and talk to someone and ask all the questions so that you are best suited, and have everything in front of you so that you can make the best decision for you. Right now may not be the right time, but it could be an opportunity for you right now too, especially for assignments. These ones are people that are trying to offload some properties that they have because they maybe cannot afford what their interest rates are now. So it's something to think about. If you do have cash on hand, and please reach out, because then we can definitely take a look at some opportunities that are out there, which is very slim, and assignments are where the opportunities are at the moment. So we'll come back to our downtown surrounding areas. So we talked about the freehold areas, so we'll touch on condos, which I seem to like be talking about at the moment, which in the downtown areas actually really has gone up by 10 sales compared to last week. So inventory is up, which is normal. Months of inventory is up, which is normal. But yeah, that sold firm number seems a little bit higher than what it should be. But at the same time, we have to think about condos because they have a longer time to firm up because of status certificate inspection clause. So it could take up 5 to 10 business days for it to firm up. So that these sales could have happened 1 to 2 weeks ago. So that's just something to think about when we see sold firm. We'll obviously keep an eye on that over the coming weeks and see if that kind of declines, which I do think will happen until probably sometime in September, even with an announcement from Bank of Canada that it's going to come in, which is not looking like they will be pausing it. Probably they will be increasing it. So something to think about there. But again, the sky is not falling. These are motions that have to happen, and long-term things will be all right, as we have seen in the past. So we'll go to the Don Mills area, freehold. We didn't have any sales last week, so we don't have anything to compare to from last week. But we will talk about how much active listings, which is down, which is interesting. But we did have 6 sold firms, and if you look at these solds, they are on average for 4 days. So these are homes that were priced properly, show really well, and possibly the agent that had the listing had a buyer as well. So sometimes if they have that, then it could be 1 to 2 days on the market. So those are things to take a look at, and to understand that if your place does show well, even at this price point of at an average of $2 million. So if your place does show well, there are people out there that are looking, especially in certain areas that are more desirable, which is obvious. For the condo market, we saw prices go up, which is interesting. Inventory go down again, which is interesting. And we saw 2 sales, which are on the market for an average of 16 days, which is normal for the condo market. And for Don Mills area, Don Mills area is a little bit more. It seems like it's a whole different world in itself. That there are people that really understand and really want to try and time the market. So I do believe we are seeing people that are just kind of holding off until news from Bank of Canada, even though if it's not good news, some people are just still holding off because there are still a lot of people that are away trying to enjoy the last few weeks of summer. So we will go to the Leaside, Davisville, Mount Pleasant, and Yonge and Eglinton area. Now we saw some decrease in price of about 500,000. So an increase in active listings, flat for sold firms at 5, pretty flat for months of inventory. And so active days on the market were 11 compared to 98 last week. But again, that's kind of something we don't want to keep an eye on too hard, because there's not too many listings that are on the market for an average of 100 days almost, right? These are just homes that people are, okay, I'm going to sell this, and it's going to take however long it is. Maybe they didn't do any staging. Priced it a little bit too high. Expectations were a lot different 100 days ago compared to now. So don't look at that too hard, but it is interesting to know that that could have been an opportunity that we've talked about from the past too, right? If it's on the market for a while, does it show well, and people are just getting frustrated. So just kind of give a price that you can afford, and if it happens, it happens. I've been through a couple of those deals, and it does happen. So keep your head up and keep positive, because there are some deals out there. So that for the freehold, and for the condo market, we saw prices down, inventory up, sales down, months of inventory up, and average days on market actually down a little bit. But this is pretty much an average of what I think we'll continue to see in the coming weeks of things, listings picking up. But this is a pretty desirable area as well, so I don't foresee it taking too long for it to bounce back. As again, it said, with more people coming in for student-wise and immigration, Yonge and Eglinton is a pretty desirable area, and especially once the Eglinton LRT is done, whenever that is, hopefully within the next couple of years, then that will be a game changer as well, especially if interest rates are a little bit lower at that time too. So that's just what we have going on in the market on a week-to-week basis, and just as I said, we talked about a little bit of month-to-month, and just some interesting numbers to soak in and understand. So there are some opportunities out there, as I mentioned, but if you don't need to be within this market at the time, then that's probably best, because things will get better. And there will be more opportunities in the future. So if you'd like some more information for your home type or area, or an area or different home type for your understandings, please don't hesitate to reach out, and we'd love to help you out. All right, thanks guys, have a great day.